Hi everyone, I'm Deanne from Newfoundland, Canada. Welcome to my FlossTube channel, Stitching on the Rock, for episode 19. Thank you for everybody that's been watching my videos. I've had some new subscribers recently, so thank you for joining me. Thought I'd just do a quick reintroduction in case those people haven't gone back to watch my first video. Like I said, I'm from Newfoundland, Canada. We're known as the far east of the Western world. I am in St. John's, which is the capital, and I'm about 20 minutes from the most easterly point in North America, Cape Spear. So I'm actually closer to Europe than I am to the rest of Canada, or the west of Canada, not so far from Nova Scotia. I cross-stitch, obviously. I've been cross-stitching off and on for about 32-ish years. First real cross-stitch I did after my first little introduction was a birth announcement for my twin nephews, and I think they'll be 32 in November, so 33-ish years. I also scrapbook. I've been doing that for 20 plus years, and it's a lot of fun, and I go to scrapbook retreats locally probably 3-ish times a year, and I scrapbook there. I don't scrapbook as much at home as I used to. I have a room in my basement that I set up as a scrapbook room, but I'm in a concrete basement underground, so no natural light, and it's not that much fun to do it down there. And then spreading it out anywhere else means I have to clean it up after I'm done for an hour or two, and it's just a pain in the, So I mostly do that away from home. I sea glass hunt. I haven't done much this year. We've been really busy this summer. And I collect Rae Dunn. You may see a mug pop up here and there. What else do I like to do? Read. I read a lot. I read fan fiction. A lot. And I cheer on the Blue Jays. And this weekend has been a lot of fun because I've been watching them bleep some Yankee butt. Yeah, and you might see a scrapbook layout pop up, or a new Rae Dunn purchase pop up, or some sea glass I found pop up, but I mostly talk about my cross stitch. And I guess that's about it. I'm a mom. I forgot that part. I have a son who's just turned 15 last month, and he's the love of my life and the light of my life. He has ASD, but he's a brilliant boy. And if you go back and watch last 2 weeks ago, you'll see me talk all about him and get all emotional, which I do every time I talk about him because he's my number one. So what have we been doing? Erin is still doing baseball every weekend. We had it yesterday. We have it next Saturday, and then that's the last one for the summer. I don't want to think about school and fall and all that fun stuff. And then the week after Labor Day weekend, we don't have it on Labor Day weekend, we do a special nighttime on Friday under the lights at one of the big fields here in town. That's a big deal for them. Other than that, our life has been pretty boring the last 2 weeks, unlike the 2 weeks before that when we didn't stop. I've been buying school supplies, which I put off to the last minute every year because I just don't want to think about Erin going back to school and all that causes. Had my flooring measured to get my new flooring for my entryway, dining room, and kitchen. I haven't heard when it's going to be put down, hopefully soon. And if you hear that, that's Kitty. I'm also a mom to Kitty. Last time I tried to get her up in the video, she knocked over the camera, so I might try when she comes around my other chair to show you Kitty. And I had my appointment with my ophthalmologist, which I've been going every year. My dad had glaucoma, and my dad's cousin had glaucoma, and her granddaughter goes to the doctor because of it. And my brother-in-law, who is a distant relative in that family, no, he's on the other side. Well, he takes precautions for it, but yeah, I'm like 6 cousins with my brother-in-law, so not that close. But anyway, I had at points in my life indications of possibility, so I go to an ophthalmologist and have the test. Oh, that was Kitty jumping up on the table, shaking the camera. But this time he's pushing me out to 18 months. He says everything looks fine and there shouldn't be any issues for, oh, there she is. Say hi. Oh, we're gonna get you down because you might knock down. There she is. She's not a up in your arms kind of cat. She's not fond of being up with people. She loves everyone, but she doesn't like to be held. So we'll get her down out of the way. Anyway, I guess that's life. Is that long enough? That's 5.5 minutes of talking about me, which is longer than I want to talk about me. So I'm titling this video a little bit of stitching on a lot of projects. If you can see my bag I have here, I've been flitting from one whip to another. So I'll show you what I've been doing in random order and talk about them. And I've got a little bit of haul and a new start from that haul. Yeah, so these are just, I'm just pulling them out of the bag. I didn't put them in the order that I worked on them. So first up is Tulip House. Let me get my cards so I make sure I tell you exactly what they're stitched on and all that. And this is a freebie by Pinker & Pumpkin Quilting. And I assume I can show you the pattern because it's free on her blog. And I'll link her blog down below. She has tons of free projects and they're all really cute little projects. She's actually just done a fall, autumn, Halloween, no, not fall, autumn, stitch along kind of thing where she's posted up a frame and I think there's 6 or 9 little designs to put in the squares on the frame. And it's really cute. I haven't started it, but, oops, sorry, that was Kitty again. So it's this one, it's Tulip House, and she's got lots of houses there on her blog. And so I stitched a little on this. So this is where I am. And it's stitched 2/2 on 28 count white linen. So I filled in all the yellow on the side of the house this time. If I sat down and did it, it would probably only take me a day or 2 to do it, but I've been, you know, doing bits and pieces on it. And it's a cute little stitch. It's a great little TV stitching piece. Yeah, so once again, so I did all of the yellow here. And next up is my Heaven and Earth Design Mini Sunflower by Marianne Broom, which I'm loving stitching on. I'm doing it 1/1 on 25 count. And the color is Daffodil, the fabric color. So here we go. Here we are. So what I've been working on is I started it up in the corner, obviously, because that's all filled in. But I find when I do that with the full coverage, I end up with like little ridges through the rows and the pages and that. So I've started doing it diagonally. So if I bring it in, I'm sorry, but the weather it's really, let me move the camera, sorry. The weather is really dull today, but I got the overhead light on. So hopefully you can see that I've been, if I can hold it right, diagonally working, like sort of down through here. There. The weather, which I didn't tell you about in my little life update, after the video last time when I told you how extremely hot it has been, kind of went dull and rained off and on. It's rained off and on almost every day for the last couple of weeks, but the humidity has not gone away that much. It's actually good today, but we've had a lot of humid days still. It's that one. Yeah. Figure out what to do with them after I've shown the bag I've got for before. After, I think I'm going to be throwing them on the chair here next to me. There. Next we have sunflowers in summer. We have a theme, sunflowers. I'm only doing 2 sunflower by Country Cottage Needleworks, which is this one. And I have modified it. I'm putting a pattern in. I have taken the words out here and here for now. Well, these definitely, because I've stitched some on the house and all that. And I've taken these out. My plan is, well, and then I've had to move, of course, the house up. And I had to take out, I don't know if you can see, there's a B right here. I took that out. And I haven't stitched this swirl yet. So all of this is now up here. It's been fun to try and figure out. Thinking, now I had a piece of fabric to work with, oh kidding, with the words all taken out. But if I get the house all done and there's enough space underneath, I may take the words from up here and put them down. I don't know. I'm just modifying it right now. So here it is. And I got the 3 sunflowers and the fence in this time. And I don't know if you can even pick up on the screen that the white here and the white of the fence are different. Because I pulled out my drawer that has my white and my ecru and my B52 when I went to do the fence, and I picked up the B52 and I didn't realize until I had like this much of it done, and I said, shag it. I stitched the fence in B5200 because white picket fences are always nice bright white, so we won't tell. The clouds are always a bit more muddled than the fence. Yeah, so that's where that one is. Oh, and it's stitched, sorry, it's stitched 2/2 on a 28 count, and it's called, the color is called Autumn Field, which is really pretty. And it's really, really soft Lugana. It's so soft, you can just, oh. Anyway, that's that one. Getting through them quickly, because I didn't stitch much on anything. I don't know, my brain was just flitting from one spot to another. I couldn't concentrate on any of the pieces. So next up we have Queen of Hearts by Heaven and Earth Designs by Rachel Anderson, which was my birthday start in May. And this one, and I just love her, but I don't know if I'll ever finish her. So far I've been stitching black. I got with my Hades, oh, I didn't tell you with the sunflower, the mini sunflower one, I did 425 stitches on that one. This one I did 313 stitches, and for Pattern Keeper can tell me how many stitches I did on. So it's stitched 1/1 on 28 count Dahlia fabric, and as you can see by the piece of fabric and how I don't even think I can get to the end, big it is, it's going to take a while. So this is what I've done. Yeah, so I put in 313 stitches. I would say 290 of those were black. And I don't even know if you can tell, there are a few very dark plummy purple stitches. You might be able to see it right there that I've started putting in. Yeah, so it's going to take a few birthdays to get through this one. But the black is not bothering me. It might be because I'm only doing that one little diagonal. We'll see. I think there was 86,000 and something black stitches, and I brought it down under 86,000. So it's 85,900 and something. Yeah. Yeah. Next we have another hate. Quick Stitch Pride and Prejudice by Amy Stewart. And as I've said before, this is part of a larger piece by Amy Stewart. And I keep thinking I need to look up the name to tell you what the big piece is. I never remember to. But I know it has the Pride and Prejudice. I know it has Anne of Green Gables because I have that one as well. And I know it has Romeo and Juliet. And it has 3 or 4 other like romantic book heroine type thing. And this one I got in 299 stitches. Why I didn't do 300, I don't know. But it is stitched 1/1 on 28 count ice blue. And here we are. This is what I have done. I've gotten down to this part, which is, let me fold this up so I can make it really small, and then I can hold pattern up as well, so you can see that this is right up here. So here, I don't know if I can do it. You can see both of it at the same time. Why does it look like I'm holding it wrong? It's the upper left-hand corner. Right? Yeah, it's supposed to be this way. I'll get to figure it out. Yeah. So I'm doing here, so you can just see there's the brown, the light part, and the brown, and then I'm starting right there. There's grapes, I think it is, and the very tip of the blue book. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I need another set of hands is the problem. And that's this one. Okay, next we have jumping jacks. So the one I think is next. But here we are, jumping jacks by Samsara Designs. I'm doing the large one and a piece of 28 count Monaco that I dyed with aqua, and then or coffee tea dyed it, and then I dyed it with aqua, whichever. Because when I coffee tea dyed it, it came out the same color as another piece I coffee tea dyed, even though I used different tea, and I didn't want that, so I bought aqua red dye, and I have 3 pumpkins done out of the 5. So I have pumpkins, the 3 on the middle one, and the other 2 to the right. These 2, these 3. So next time I'll get one on this side done. And they're a lot of fun. And as I said last time, I changed the pumpkin color because it was called for hazelnut, I believe is the color that it called for. Yeah, it called for hazelnut, and my hazelnut was really brown. But now maybe if I had stitched on it, it might have looked, but to me the pumpkins in the pattern looked a lot more orange than the hazelnut. So what I did is I went through my DMC and I pulled out 918 and 921, a slightly lighter color, a slightly darker color, and I did what they suggested on the pattern. What they did was did vertical lines instead of horizontal to give it a, I don't know if you can tell in the pumpkin, a kind of, so I've been doing a line of 918 and then a line of 921 and then back and forth, so it gives it that kind of variegated vertically instead of horizontally. Yep. And let's see. 2 left. And they're both whips, but they both have to do with my stash that I acquired. So I'll show you a whip, and then my stash, and then my stash, which is now a whip. That makes sense. So next up was Fleur de Lis, which is part of Jeanette Douglas's journey, Canadian journey. So it's this one. It's Fleur de Lis sampler. I don't call it a sampler, even though she calls it samplers in the name. To me, it's not in my head a sampler, because my head says samplers have motifs like all over the place, whereas this is straight up and down. But anyway, there's the picture. Hopefully you can see it. There's 34, what she calls 34 rows. And sorry, kitty. No, she's into everything. Maybe filming in the dining room is not a good idea. Maybe I need to go back to the craft room. Anyway, I've just started row 10. So here's the whole thing. What I have completed. I'll bring it in so you can see. So the first row is the church and some bushes and trees. And then we have a row of Fleur de Lis. And then we have this row. And then we have a row of flower baskets. And this row, which is French. And my French is terrible, so I'm not even going to try, but it means church steeples. And then we have just this line is considered a row. And then we have this row, which is my favorite that I've done so far. And then just another line row. And then we have this row. And then I've just started a row of loons, which is 3 loons. I said we have loonies, we have toonies. I don't know what you call trinies? Trinies? I don't know. Anyway, so I've just started the first one. And I have, I think it was 4, 5 of the patterns for the whole journey across Canada. And there was, I think there's 8 in total. I think I got 8. But I wanted to get all of them. Now, there is a book that she put out. I remember it was some anniversary for her, so she put out a hardcover book with all of them. But I had over half of them, so I said, why am I spending, to buy a second copy of the ones I have? So I went searching. I said, the patterns are getting up there in age, and I soon won't be able to get them. So I went searching for them, and Seashell Stitching in New Brunswick had them on clearance. So I'm glad I went looking. So I bought the last ones I had. So I thought I'd show you the whole set of patterns. So first up is the Atlantic Seaboard, which would cover obviously the Atlantic provinces, and it has the Anne of Green Gables house at the top, which, as you know, Anne of Green Gables is one of my favorite books. So I was really happy when I saw that. Now they all call for charms and buttons and things, but and you can buy the thread packs for the whole thing, but I've just kind of been going through what I have and then buying things here and there. But the charm, the Anne of Green Gables charm, I actually have an Anne of Green Gables charm that I got for my charm bracelet when I was a little girl, when we went to PEI when I was 5 or 6 years old. So that's going to go on this one. The others, I don't know if I'm going to bother with the charms and the buttons. We'll see when I get through. Anyway, so the Atlantic Seaboard one, and then Fleur de Lis, which you all have seen, the one I'm working on. And then we have, oh shoot, you know what? I don't have them all here. Anyway, I'll show you the ones I have here, and then I'll go and get the other ones, because it's the ones I purchased that I don't have here. So then we have the Great Lakes lowland, which I'm assuming will be like Ontario. And then we have Prairie West, which would be, I'm assuming, Manitoba. And, you know, possibly part of Alberta. And then I have the Northern Shield, which would be, I guess, like maybe Northern Ontario, that type of area. Doesn't really say on it. And then I have to go and get the other ones. 1 second. Sorry about that. I have all my patterns in an accordion file folder thing, and when I picked them all up out of the J for Jeanette Douglas, these were not in the right slot, so when I picked them up I didn't take these with me. So these are the 3 new ones that I bought. The Rocky Mountain sampler, which is obviously Alberta area. And then we have the Pacific Rim. I hope you're seeing these because they're so tiny pictures, which is obviously Vancouver, the killer whale, or British Columbia, Vancouver. And then we have the Northern Lights one, which is for obviously the territories. So my hope is to someday have them all done, and actually on the wall above my couch in my living room. We'll see. Okay. And finally, there's my other stash that I bought, and I started it right away. I'm a couple of months behind, or 3 or 4 months behind, the Primrose Cottage bee craze. It was on back order when I ordered it last month or so from Gitas, and so it came in. And Friday night, the baseball game, the Jays game, was on Apple TV, and I usually watch the games in my living room on my cable TV, obviously on Sportsnet, but the TV in my craft room is a smart TV, and it has Apple, and so I was up there in a great light in that room, so I started. Yeah, so I got the bee done, and the first color on the buzz done. There's another like shadow color, and then both colors done on the NIC, and I just have to finish the shadow color on the E. And it was nice to have something that stitched really quickly, and I may sit down and work on it again today while the game is on, and probably finish it or come close to finishing it. So that's everything I worked on in the last 2 weeks. It was here and there. I was all over the place. And I'll be like that for the next couple of weeks as we get closer to school. And I start to stress with Aaron going to a new school and an all new environment and all new people. And yeah, so my brain is kind of gets like that when we get to a point where he's going into a new situation. And I know that he's going to stress and I'm going to stress. So it just means that I get to enjoy a lot of whips. And it came pretty close to watching my whip brain. I got, except for my Mirabilias, which I need to be in a calm kind of mood to stitch on them. Because there's fractions and backstitch and beads, and they're all over the place, like me. I guess that's everything. Ignore my hair to this week. I had plans to go and get my hair cut yesterday because it desperately needs to. I'm a real procrastinator when it comes to cutting my hair. It's making an appointment and figuring out what day works, and lots of times I just drop into the place and hopefully there's someone free to cut my hair. I had planned to do it yesterday, except my mom wanted to go to Costco. And a couple of years ago, well, Costco used to be like 10 minutes from my mother's house, and she was there 2 or 3 times a week. and I don't have a membership because it's not worth it for me for the 3 or 4 things that I buy there. My mother can pick them up, my sister can pick them up for me. But they built a new Costco in a new area. It's the biggest one in Atlantic Canada. It might even be the biggest one in Canada. I don't know. But it's about 10 minutes from my house, which makes it about 25 minutes or so from my mother's house. But they have 2 roundabouts on the way there. And my mom's 81, and roundabouts they only came into existence here in St. John's about 5 years ago or so. There's some I even ask, why did they put a roundabout there? But like most of them are just little 1 lane, zip, zip, and you're through it. These 2 are a bit more complicated because they have highways coming into them, and she just doesn't want to drive them. And so I usually, or my sister, usually drive her in when she wants to go in. And so yesterday she asked, and Aaron was at his dad's, and I said, sure. So there went my haircut. Hopefully this week she'll come and stay with Aaron while I run over and get it cut. But yeah, it's getting to the point where it really needs to, especially my bangs. But anyway, that's enough chitter chatter. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my ramble today. Excuse me. I'll be back in a couple of weeks, and hopefully my brain will have settled and I'll have less whips and more work on it. Anyway, see ya. Hi everyone. When I was going through the editing of my video, I realized I didn't talk to you about my plans. For the rest of August, I'm probably just going to be flittering here and there and everywhere on my whips, and continue working when I feel like it on whatever I feel like it. But I had planned in September to call it Small September. So I was going to put away my Heaven and Earth Design whips and dig through my stash of patterns and find anything that was less than 100 by less than 100, and do a few smalls to have some finishes and maybe some fully finishes. I planned to leave out Christmas because I was going to do some ornaments in October. I'm trying to find some themes for the month for some fun things, and so I've got some freebies that I get from Gita's when I order there. They send me a little freebie, and then Pinker & Pumpkin has a lot of freebies. So I was going to try and do some of those for September. I haven't decided on anything, but maybe in the next video I'll have 4 or 5 pulled out that I can share with you that I'm going to try and complete. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.